welcome to Moonbeam Connections. I'm Jacqui-Leigh. Today on Into the Shadows, we're going to be pulling a shadow card to see what shadow we need to work on. So, as always, I do set the intention that these videos reach those who need them when they need them. So if you did find this video today, it is meant for you. However, remember that it may just be part of the message that is for you. It may not be the whole thing. So take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So we're going to be asking Spirit, what shadow work do we need to do? What shadow do we need to work on? Let's see. Let's see which shadow card we get today from the Spirits. Spirits. I always say spirits. Some people say spirit. Okay, we've got a lot going on here. Sorry, I've got we're going to start again because I had things popping everywhere. Some of them were off camera. Okay, let's do that again. One card, please, as shadow work. Two, if absolutely necessary, in order to explain a little better. Oh, look at that. Okay, let's see what we got. Shamed for being you. Okay, so this is about feeling humiliated, having this inner critic, right? So always having this voice inside your head that says you're not doing enough, you aren't enough, that's not good enough, right? Or identity suppression. And so identity suppression is like not allowing the true you to come out. Like maybe you're really hyperactive and bouncy, and I know that's kind of how I am. I'm very much a bouncy person, especially when I'm in a good mood. You know, I'm kind of joking around and bouncing all over the place. But when I'm, say, at work, I very much try and suppress that, right? I try not to be too over the top, because I don't, necessarily think it's always the most professional thing, right? But that is feeling shamed for being me. I am a very bouncy, loud, all over the place person. And so I am suppressing who I am because I'm ashamed of it, because I don't think it's appropriate. And that's not what we should be doing. So this is about feeling like you are not good enough. You, aren't ever... You don't have a good enough job. You don't do good enough at work. Your work at work isn't good enough. Your parenting isn't good enough. Your driving skills aren't good enough. That sort of thing. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not healthy enough. I'm not funny enough. I'm not whatever. I'm not smart enough. So those kind of things. And so this card is saying you need to work on being ashamed of who you are and understanding that's who you are. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you like you. What makes you a great person. If we were all just the same, life would be really boring, right? We've got some really crazy out there people, and we've got some really boring, never do anything people. And then we've got all the spectrum in between. And so everybody adds to things, everybody takes away from things too. And you got to understand, don't be ashamed for being who you are and let yourself shine. So let's get some advice for how can we deal with getting over, I guess, learning how to let your light shine, not suppress who you are, not feel humiliated for who you are, right? Like just being yourself. And not everybody's going to like you. Certain people are certain tastes for certain people, right? And that's just how it works. So, but not being ashamed of who you are, just standing up, being the person you're meant to be, the person you internally are, and then finding your people. That's what you need to do. You're not supposed to repress things because you're trying to fit in and conform. That's not what we should be doing. We should be expressing ourselves and then finding those who support that expression of ourselves. Because if someone's not going to express or not going to support who you are, you really don't want them for a friend anyways, right? Like then that whole friendship is conditional because I'm pretending to be someone else just so you don't feel uncomfortable or so that you like me, but that's not really me because I'm pretending to be somebody else. So what advice do you have, please, for how to deal with, get over, release, feeling shamed just for being myself, feeling shame for who I am, feeling I'm not good enough, always having that voice in my head that says you should be doing more, you should be doing better, you should be achieving more. Oh, there we go. And there's some advice popping out there. So, ooh, reversed wheel of fortune. Okay, so you are resisting change. You've had some bad luck. Definitely. We can see that, right? Just even feeling shamed for being who you are indicates that you have bad luck in your life, because when you tried to express who you were shamed for it. You were pushed down for it. You were told you were not good enough for it. But it's also the card of missing opportunities, being in stagnation, right? So your advice is, let's get out of this stagnation. Let's not miss these opportunities ahead. Let's not feel like we're not good enough for that, and you're actually missing these opportunities, because there's opportunities out there for you to be able to express who you are. Let's get another piece of advice, please. So this is stop being resistant to changing, right? The wheel of fortune is always turning. Things are good, then they go bad, and then they go good, and then they go bad. And it's like you're getting off, and you're just staying over here on the side because you're afraid of the bad, but that wheel turns again into the good, right? And you're missing those good opportunities because you're so afraid of the bad that could come of it. But what you need to understand is there's good and there's bad, and you need to ride both waves because it's cyclical and it always comes back around. Can we get some more advice, please, for working on our shadow side? Ooh, 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 the Fool. Okay. So, more advice. So we've got the Fool. And the Fool is starting a new journey, right? This is the beginning. This is the carefree adventure. This is where I'm going. I'm not even looking ahead. I don't even know what's going to happen, but I'm just taking this step and I'm taking that step, and we'll just see where things go. I'm not, maybe directionless, but I'm moving forward. I'm taking those opportunities. I'm taking those new beginnings. And so the advice is, right, don't get stagnated. Don't miss opportunities because you're ashamed of who you are. Start acting like the Fool. Start being carefree. Start just walking forward, going where you want. I want to go this way. I'm not going to be like, oh no, nobody will like me over there. Nobody will accept me over there. Nobody wants me over there. No, that's where I want to go. And I'm going to make my space over there, right? So you need to start this journey and take those steps towards where you want to be. And then 7 of Wands, stand up for yourself, defend yourself, right? This guy, he's standing up there, and look, his shoes, he's got 2 different shoes. He had to run out so quickly to go fight all these guys off. He didn't even have time to put himself together and look proper and to go fight these guys off. But what's he doing? He doesn't care. He is still standing his ground. He is still defending his territory. And that's what you need to do. Even if you walk out of the house with 2 different shoes on, you know you're supposed to be there. You know you belong there. You know you deserve to be there. And that's where you're going to be. Even if you're not all put together, right? And you don't have to be completely put together. This isn't like, oh, I'll wait to be the Fool and to take my steps and to get out of stagnation. I'll just wait for that until I feel better about myself, until I lose weight, until I get smarter. No, we're not all put together. We're going to go out, we're going to take those steps, and we're going to defend what we believe in. We're going to defend what we want. We're going to defend on the direction we're going, because we're not going to worry about anybody else's opinions trying to make us feel bad for being who we are or liking what we like, right? So maybe you're somebody who they don't like, say, dress in the typical way. You're a little bit alternative. You like to have wild and crazy hair. You like to, whatever it is. You like to wear big jewelry all the time. Don't worry about what other people are saying about that. You do you. No matter how you're put together, no matter even if you don't feel put together. I'm taking these steps forward because I am going to go out and get this job. I'm not all put together yet. I don't have all the skills I need, but I'm going to find them along the way on my journey. So stop being ashamed for being who you are, because that's who you're supposed to be. Stop suppressing yourself. Stop trying to be somebody else in order to fit in. You weren't meant to fit in with people who don't accept you for who you are. You're meant to be with those who accept you and who are like-minded, like you. And you're never going to find those people. You'll never be accepted for who you are if you don't show people who you are. Like, how can somebody accept you for who you are if you're pretending to be someone else? And I guarantee you, there's people out there who, because you're pretending to be somebody else, they don't particularly like that person. And if you were shining and being who you wanted and just taking those steps carefree, not worrying, and we'll just go forward and be who we are and defend what we believe in, you would find those people who gravitate towards you because they love who you are, right? All different kinds of people in the world, all different spectrums. Everybody can find people who are like-minded, who have similar beliefs, who like your crazy, wacky self, who like doing crossword puzzles, who like whatever your little niche is, skydiving, right? Like, you can find somebody who accepts you for who you are. You just have to not suppress who you are, because you're never going to find true happiness, and that's not the path you're meant to be on. Now, remember, we were all put here as perfect people, right? If your belief system's God, right? God made us all in his image. God made us how God wanted us to be. And now you're suppressing that and pretending to be someone else so that people will accept you. People? No, that's not how we do this, okay? We are who we are because we're meant to be that, and we're going to stand up in who we are, and we're going to move forward. And if you don't accept me, then you're not supposed to be on my path anyways. You're not supposed to be part of my life, right? And of course, we all have those interactions. I mean, you can't avoid it, right? I mean, you're sitting on a bus with other people. There's going to be some people who are completely different than you. But I'm talking about in your circle of people and the people that you choose to be near, right? You want to choose people who accept you for you. And I think what we need today is a message from this Oracle deck. So I like this deck. It just literally just has messages on it, but I really like it, and I think it's appropriate for today. So we'll see what message comes from this deck for you today. Let's see, please. Please and thank you. A message for this reading for our collective. Woo! Lots of them. But you know what? I normally wouldn't take them all, but I feel like I need to today. So, maybe I'm being guided that way. So, look around and find some signs. The universe is speaking to you. Okay? So, find your sign. Here's one of them right now. This is a sign to be you. Ditch the inauthentic self. But you're being spoken to, right? So just start looking for the signs in your life. They're all around. We're human and we miss them because we're human and we don't believe them, or we just think coincidence or that's nothing. But the signs are there and you are being guided in the right direction. Live your life with both feet in. Commit fully to being here. Okay? So live your life with both feet in. This is saying you live your life, not what somebody else wants you to live, not how someone else wants you to live, not how other people expect or accept you to live. You are putting both of your feet into your life, living your life how you want, and you're going to fully commit to being in your life, not into somebody else's life, not in what somebody else wants. You are in your life. Then we have never forget how resilient you are. You always bounce back. Okay? So even if you start being your authentic self and there's some people that don't accept you that way, you are resilient. You've been here before. That's why you're masking, right? That's why you're pretending to be someone else, because you have been here before. You have not been accepted. But you've also gotten over that and gotten past that. Didn't do it in a great way in terms of suppressing who you were, but you did manage to find a solution, right? We need a better solution though. That wasn't a good one. So never forget that you are resilient, and whatever storms you have to weather because of this change you're making in your life, that's fine, because you're going to bounce back. You always do. And you're definitely going to this time, because you're going to be happy because you're living your authentic self, and you're going to find those around you who love your authentic self. And let your feelings out, all of them, even the ones that scare you. Okay, so let your feelings out. If you're upset, if you're scared, if whatever it is, don't try and suppress them all the time. No, I'm fine, it's good, don't worry, don't cry, everything's good, good, right? No, Let them out. Have a crying session. Go to a therapist. Whatever you need. Even the ones that scare you, because the feelings that scare you are the ones that are making you ashamed for being who you are. So whatever that is, maybe you even had a traumatic event that you're embarrassed by, or feel like, oh, other people would judge me if they knew about that event. And okay, well, if that's what's making you not live your authentic life, we need to start dealing with it. We need to let those feelings out. Even when we don't want to, even when they scare us, so that we can deal with them, and then we can move into our authentic self and be the person we're meant to be. Because you're here, you've got the Fool. Okay, that is the very first major arcana card, but it's the first of the tarot deck, and it's a journey of 1,000 miles, begins with one step. Must take the leap in the unknown. So you just got to take that step forward. You're scared of your feelings. You're scared of being your authentic self. All right, take that step. You'll deal with it. You're resilient. You'll just deal with it. Even if it's not what you want to happen. And a lot of times when we make changes, the very beginning is not what we want to happen, because we want things just to flow perfect, and that's not how it goes, because, you're okay, so I'm coming out as who I am now and being my authentic self, but my best friend now doesn't want anything to do with me. So that's very painful. That's very hurting. That's elevating your, despair, right? So now we were at this despair level. Now we've elevated it, but you need to get through that so then you can bring it back down, because now, okay, my best friend who didn't accept me for who I am, so I was at these elevated feelings, they left, that elevated my feelings more, but now I'm open to finding those people who do love my authentic self, which brings those sad feelings back down. Or, we could do the opposite to the story, like, oh, low bad feelings, and then I'm bringing my feelings back up and being happy. So all this to say, stop being ashamed of who you are, which is, I know, easier said than done. But you need to just start working through your feelings, understanding that things will change in your life, because you're changing how you interact with life, how you express yourself in life, and that will create changes. But you are in this beginning of a new journey in your authentic self, and you need to be willing and able to stand up for who you are, what you believe in, what you want. Even if that's, I was going to be a doctor, but you know what? I really want to be an actor. That's what I want to be. But I was too ashamed to come out and tell everybody I wanted to be an actor and not be a doctor, because everybody wants me to be a doctor, right? Well, you got to be willing to stand up and be like, no, this is the path that makes me happy. This is the path that I want. And I'm willing to defend that. I'm willing to stand up for that. You don't have, and it's not like, convincing people. You don't have to convince people. You don't have to, this is my choice. That's all really you have to say. This is my life, my choice. You can go be the doctor. It's so good to be a doctor. I guess you can go be the doctor. Or you can live your life. You love being a doctor? Okay, go live your life and love being a doctor. I don't want to deal with, gross things, infections, people with their, who've got chests ripped open or whatever. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to see, have to tell a person that someone they love died, right? Like, I don't want to do that. That is not the job I'm meant for. I'm meant to be an actor. I'm meant to dance, and I'm meant to sing. That's your path. And all you have to say is, this is what I want. This is my path. This is my life. This is what I'm doing. You can either join me on my path, or you can go enjoy your own path, because I'm over here. So I hope this message helped you today. I'm sorry it went so long, but I'm sending you peace, love, and happiness. Bye for now.